What's up, YouTube fans? Today I'm going to show you how to fix the spring head issue with the FansToys Hannibal. So if you have this issue, your head pops off easily, or just by rotating or moving in the wrong direction, it pops off. I've actually already fixed this one. I'm going to show you all the way from beginning to end how to fix it. It will disable the gimmick here, so let me just show you that. It's really tight, but this no longer pushes that down, so you can see the tech specs just stay there, right? As I put the head in, it doesn't move. And that's because I've removed the spring inside that does that mechanism. But now the head doesn't pop off. I can rotate it, I can move it up and down. It does have actually a articulation point that allows it to go up. It doesn't really go down. I can actually get it off the joint if you push it too far down. But the good news is it doesn't pop off anymore. It stays on there. And I think that's what people want. So if that's what you want and you don't care about this mechanism here, then this is the video for you. A few discretionary things. Number one, if you've never done something like this before, this isn't the place to start. So this requires removal of 6 screws on the outside and then 4 screws on the inside, and then removal of this spring. The second thing is, I don't know if FansToys would honor after-sale service if you do this, so you are taking a little bit of risk in modifying your own figure by doing this. So let's get started, and with those warnings in mind, if you're still with me and still watching, then you've chosen to take on those risks. So go ahead and pop the head out. It will be on the spring, you know, yours will be on the spring anyway. Just set that aside. We're going to open up the chest here. And just open that up, set that down, open up the arms, and leave those to the side. So there's 4 screws visible right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and get a screwdriver and unscrew those. I'm going to do that off camera. I'll be right back. All right, now that you got those 4 screws out, and you can just see in there, they're gone. You're going to lift this up, and you actually need to remove this panel to get the next 2 screws. So lift up on the ab crunch to expose, and down here there's just enough space to get in a spudger, and you're going to pop this panel little by little off until you can take it out. Alright, so it should come off straight. So you can see there's 2 little holes that go into there, and there's 2 tabs that fit on the side. Okay, so take that panel off, and then you'll see there's 2 more screws here and here. The bottom ones, so right here and here. Alright, so far I've removed 6 screws, the 2 down here, the 4 up here. Now we can actually take this apart. So if you pull here, it will start to come apart. Unpeg this from here, and now that it's actually off, it'll actually come off pretty easily from here. It's just on a little ball peg. We can pull this off, his whole backpack piece. And this is what you're going to see inside. So this is what came off. Is the backpack. There are electronics in here, so you want to be very careful not to damage, especially the leads right here. This one's still working, obviously. So just be very, very careful putting this back on. Make sure that lines up perfectly. And like I said, if you're not comfortable with something like that, don't attempt this installation. All right, now that we've gotten that off, we basically take all of this, take the arms out. They're just pegged in there. And you take this piece off, and this is the piece we need to work on. So we're going to take off 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and inside there is where we're going to see the spring. So go ahead and take those off. All right, once you've taken those 4 screws off, you don't have to pull them out, just pull the whole back piece off. The screws can stay in there for now, and set that aside. And here's what you're going to have inside. Now yours, mine doesn't have the spring because I've taken it out. Yours will have a spring. Right, so it'll look something like this, and you're going to go ahead and just take that spring out, and now this piece is free floating. Okay, what that means on the other side is you need to get this lined up. So it'll probably be misaligned to begin with. Let me put this back in here. So you want to make sure the 3 circles are lined up right before you place this. Once you get that lined up, then you can place this, And you're going to have it with the grooves facing inwards. And that's just going to hold this into place. Now make sure you have it exactly how you want it, because once you put it there and we screw everything back together, it's not gonna move. Okay, so that's how you want it. Now we can start reassembling everything without the screw in there. So if this fell out, make sure you put that back in. You want the circle side to the bottom, so you can just slide that in here, and then that should get in there. And if it's not going, and just use a screwdriver. Okay, should sit like that. You're done. All right, so once you have that lined up, go ahead and come back here, make sure you have that nice and straight. We're going to take this piece here, and this is going to line up right here and push in, and make sure you still have the 3 dials in the right place, because once you screw this in, it's going to tighten those up. So go ahead and retighten those 4 screws. I'll do that off camera. I'll be right back. All right, now that we have 4 screws back in there, we can start reassembling this. So go ahead and take this, and this is going to sit right here on his ab piece there. And make sure you put it on the top there. And you take the arms, put those back in, and those are also going to sit in those little grooves. It's pretty obvious. And taking these things apart, you really get to see the level of quality on these builds. Right, go ahead and take the back piece. This is the part I said be careful with electronics. Make sure you take this neck piece. This is going to go with, again, the circle side down. So make sure you have the square side up. Should look like that. And this is going to come onto here and fit together. So line everything up and make sure you do it carefully and there's nothing kind of in the way. It should come together. This top neck piece actually tabs together. And if you've done it right, it should fit together pretty nicely. This is going to go around the outside and fit around those 2 pegs. It actually sits pretty loosely compared to what I thought it would be. But once you get that, you can just fold that down and tab it in. Come to the front here. Go ahead and put these 2 screws back. All right, now that I have those 2 screws in, go ahead and take this. There's 2 pegs that are going to fit in here. So just put it on straight. Line it up and then push from both sides, and that'll just fit nice and snug. All right, then you're going to come to here and do these 4 screws. Do the top first and then do the bottom. There it is with all the screws back in. Go ahead and put the arms back in. Close up the chest. And again, we have the speed, strength, intelligence is kind of preset now. It doesn't pop down. Put the chest back in. Get your head. Pop that in. That's what it's going to look like on the top now without the peg in the middle. The peg in the middle is down, right? Because there's no spring. So go ahead and get this in. And now you have a springless head that sits perfectly. Doesn't pop out. Works beautifully. You can actually tilt it upwards. It doesn't really tilt down, but it does tilt upwards without any problem. So hopefully that helped you. And you are able to do this fix if you have this problem on yours. My personal copy actually didn't have much of an issue, but because so many people told me that they had this issue, I wanted to make this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.